welcoming in Adam Thielen to the show, who just wrapped up an incredible 13-year career. I'm giving you credit for that practice squad.
Thank you. Everyone skips that, so I appreciate that.
Not here. We're on the details here.
I love it.
2013. And one of the craziest NFL stories, now that it's over, because I don't think the average listener or fan even remembers at this point, but like one of the only rookie tryout players I can remember having like an extended, incredible career. So that's just a long congratulations for wrapping it up, because it's a really cool story for people that don't know. Had a rookie tryout, made the team, D2 college, and then has this great career, obviously, with the Vikings, and then wrapping up here with the Steelers. So congratulations, Adam.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's wild to look back at it. It's like when you're playing, you don't really give yourself that ability to look back on things. You're kind of just always going for the next thing, the next year. What do I need to do to get better? So now just be able to take a deep breath, look back at everything. It's crazy. It's wild, but very blessed and thankful for a crazy career.
This is perhaps a very invasive question.
Okay.
How are you processing it?
How long do we have right now? How long do we have? No, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Honestly, right now it doesn't feel any different, because this is like a normal off season, right? You get a little break from training, all those things. I will say that I've kind of dove into the retirement life as far as I'm playing pickup basketball 6 a.m. on Tuesday and Fridays, and not lifting very heavy. I did about a 15-20 minute leg workout this morning, which felt awesome, because I didn't have to worry about doing this like long, elaborate warm up and sprinting and training. So I'm diving right into that, which is great.
I was a little worried when you started to say pickup basketball. I was really worried you were going to start to say pickleball, which we don't classify as a sport on this show.
Oh, okay. I do like pickleball.
It's okay to like
basketball
it.
Basketball is much more athletic sport.
Yeah.
It just seems like, go for like a sport. Like there's tennis, just do it. Go the whole way if you're gonna play a racket sport.
I will say though, have you done individual, like one-on-one pickleball? Like that's a serious workout.
Okay.
I think you know the answer to that question.
Yeah, he has not done it.
Based on his answer to your question.
True.
Maybe I should.
It's a great sport. Watch out though, you will get addicted.
I will not get addicted, and I will not let my family play it either. No. I always think about like when I watch receivers who win in different sorts of ways and understand the subtleties of the position and get better throughout the course of their career, like who they learn from. And you've played with and played for like such a variety of different coaches. You obviously spent that time in Carolina too, which I didn't mention off the top. I'm curious of any of the players or coaches who you looked up to, who taught you the most about kind of learning the position.
Unfortunately, I'm going to give you a very politically correct answer, because it is true, but it sounds kind of crazy. But honestly, it was like such a there's so many people that kind of influenced my abilities to play receiver. And I go back to high school, like coaches in high school. I remember like so many things that I remember them kind of like preaching, like I used in my NFL career. Like my head coach in high school was like, you will not play if you can't block. Like I remember like being a sophomore and like thinking I was pretty cool because I made the varsity team and I'm making all these cool catches in practice. And I remember him like getting after me because like I wasn't blocking. And he was like, you won't play if you can't block. And that kind of stuck with me my whole career into the NFL. I remember my college coach, like some of the drills that we would do really helped me in my NFL career as far as the top of the route stuff. And then there's so many players, right, that I watched growing up. Chris Carter, Randy Moss, guys that I watched when I was in college that were having tons of success. Julio Jones and Kelvin Johnson. And then when I got to the league, Gregg Jennings was there with the Vikings and just kind of learning his process. He was an older player at the time, but just being able to pick his brain a little bit. Jarius Wright, who was kind of this slot receiver that was...
I remember Jarius.
Just like Mr. Clutch.
Yeah.
And no one really knew how valuable he was to the team, but learned a ton from him. And then just guys that I played with, Diggs, just watching him and how he ran routes, how he caught the football and his aggressiveness run after the catch. guys that were on other teams, like Devontae Adams, watching his releases. So it's a really long-winded answer, so I'm sorry, but
we're a very long-winded show.
All right,
yeah,
I like
so
it.
we love this.
I liked it, but I really did take so much of everyone's game. And then really cool was when Justin came in, and he just kind of provided this really unique new style of playing receiver that I hadn't really seen in person. And so I really pulled a lot of things from his game and tried to use it, not as good as him, but tried to use it in my game, which again, that's the beauty of this game. It's so fun to see the different styles, the different types of competitors, and you're playing the same position, you're running the same routes, but everybody has a little bit of a unique way to do it. And I will say everybody had the same thing in common, and I feel like it's something that's lost in translation of how to play receiver at a high level, and that's playing with speed. Is a lot of times people want to be like, oh, he's good in zones, or he's really crafty, but like you can't be crafty in the NFL. Like you have to play with speed and explosiveness, and you have to be able to stop on a dime. If you can do those things and you can catch the football and have body control, you'll probably be a pretty good receiver.
What I love all of that, but what you also were able to do and to have the tenure that you had was to really understand where to attack defenses. To do that, you had to really understand the evolution, de-evolution, and re-evolution of defenses as they reacted to offenses over time. What did you study? Who did you watch? What tape provided usefulness to you in terms of understanding like the little nuances and shifts of how, especially, passing defense was going to try to attack you?
Yeah, it's crazy. As you're saying that, I'm like thinking like, I almost start to laugh because it's like the difference from when I first came into the NFL to now and how defenses are attacking and playing. It's almost like comical because it's like a whole different game.
Yeah.
They like every coach has like influenced the game in some way, and then the ones that have success, people try to mimic it, right? And they're like, oh, okay, that's really good. I never thought of that. I'm going to use that. And then offenses start to pick it up, and then they have to do something new and unique. And so I think about just like when I first came in the league, like there wasn't a lot of like cover zero, all out blitzes. It's more like either you're playing man or you're playing like cover two with two high safeties and a lot of quarters coverage in first and second down because you could protect the run and the pass. And then now it's just like, how can we make cover two look like cover zero? And you start in cover zero and everybody just bails out into this cover two coverage. And they try to make you throw hot when you really can't, and play this like cat and mouse game. So it has changed a lot. For me, thankfully, in my career, I didn't really have to worry about that because they told me what to do. Like, I got to run a slant route. There's not really much you can do. So really what I would study is, okay, what are they teaching technique-wise to these corners? So like we're playing the Bears. How do they teach them? Are they soft shoe guys? Are they backpedaling kind of at the snap when they're press coverage? Are they quick jam? Are they going to put one hand on you? Are they going to put both hands on you? And then once you kind of feel that, it's like, all right, my studying is kind of done. Now I just have to kind of run the route that's called and adjust on the fly.
This, to that point, this might be maybe a very rudimentary question, but sometimes we hear defensive coaches talk about changing their zoning rules and the depth of their drops and all of those types of things to mess up receivers who really are trying to gain a leverage advantage based on all of those little techniques and traits that they know that their corners are playing with. Are we there yet? Because you see coaches, the Salas and Flores certainly, but you see like some of these really top tier defensive coaches like take what they know the offense knows about their rules and then F with them a little bit. Are we there yet across the league, do you think? Or are we sort of like scratching the surface of all of that?
No, that's good. I think it's interesting because every week you're like, okay, this team is in this family. This is the type of defense they play. And you're like, this is how people attack them. Well, the funny thing is that on the flip side, they know how teams are going to attack them. And so the more simple the defense, the easier it is for them to know exactly how teams are going to attack them. Like the old like Seattle cover three, lean the safety the other way, carry the other side. Like they knew the attackers, right? So like that's all they practice is like how are they attack. But then like you go into this offensive meeting and you're like, oh, like we're gonna kill these guys. Like this is easy. Like all you gotta do is set a guy down here and throw it over the top. Like it's pretty easy. But again, like they practice that. So it's this cat and mouse game of like, okay, like they might know this, but we're going to do this. And I think the offenses that just like maybe kind of throw that out the window and just like, all right, we're just going to be really balanced with our approach. And then we're going to run the ball. We're going to have play action. We're going to have keepers. We're going to have quick hitters. We're going to have down the field shots when we know that it's a certain coverage. You know, we got a quarters coverage and we know that they're going to play it on this down. I think those are the offense. And I think, honestly, that's Seattle. Like, in Clint Kubiak. Clint was my OC. Like, that's the Kubiak way, is like, we are going to be, we're going to attack in all the different phases of the game and keep it really simple for us and complex for the defense. But when you try to play this cat and mouse game and like perfect play versus perfect defense, I think it gets tough.
I heard you say cat and mouse game there, and I immediately thought of the quarterback you just played with, Aaron Rodgers, who just loves to play a cat and mouse with his opponents. You were just there with him, and there were great moments towards the end of the season. I thought like he played his best ball of the year with the Steelers. There were rough moments. If you were trying to convince a doubter, maybe like myself, who looks at kind of the breadth of the entire season and just like numbers, like success rate and how that offense was moving and thinking about the future in Pittsburgh, maybe you wouldn't try to convince me, but that he would still make sense as a starting quarterback for that team in the future. Like, why would that be?
So, okay, I'm going to start this in a weird way to answer this question, but I'll come back. I will, I promise. But, okay, first of all, quarterbacks, right, they get all the heat, all the blame, and they get all the praise, right? Like, if you're good, if your team's good, like, best quarterback ever, he's MVP candidate, all these things. And if your team's not winning or your offense playing well, it's, oh, the quarterback, he's terrible. He can't do it anymore. He's getting too old. All these things. And granted, they get paid really well, so it's still a good job to have, right? They get paid very well compared to everyone else in the league. But it's just kind of that's just kind of how it is. And I say that all to say that there's so many factors that lead into individual success in the NFL, and that's why we love it. It's the greatest team game there is, because it takes 11 guys on every individual play to have success. They have to do their job. If one guy doesn't do his job, the quarterback can't throw the ball, he's getting hit. And so I think there was so many of those times in my time in Pittsburgh that just one guy, and sometimes it was me, right? One guy wasn't doing his job and didn't do his job well enough, and it made maybe the quarterback look bad, or the offensive coordinator look bad, or maybe the running back look bad, right? So, and again, that's why I love this game. It's so fun to be around, because it's you can have all the playmakers, you could have all the guys on paper that should have an explosive offense. You got this quarterback that's a Hall of Famer, and you're still gonna have games where you just don't move the ball. And that's why like every game is so interesting to see what happens. But again, I told you I was gonna have a long-winded question or answer, and it was gonna come back around. And I say that all to say that he can still do it. His process is unbelievable, and to see some of the throws he made in practice, and him to do it day in and day out, like he was out there competing on Wednesdays, and like it just like when you're when you're in a huddle with a guy like that is out there giving everything he's got every single day. He has this process. He's got us over there watching film on Tuesday nights. He's talking ball. He's explaining ball on Wednesdays and Thursdays to all the young guys of, hey, who's the O-line blocking here? Talking to the running backs, so they understand. Okay, this is the blocking scheme, so this is how I cut off of it. There's not a lot of that in the NFL. There's so much going on that you don't get to really teach football, and he's doing that. He's taking the time to do that. He can still do it, and he can still do it at a high level. He just needs some pieces around him that, that they can kind of all do it together.
See, that practice, that prep stuff, that's something, there's no way I can know that. That's why I wanted to ask and get the answer, and really great perspective. Not long-winded, but we do have to get to another guest, so I really appreciate Adam Thielen, your time, and good luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah.